Would you love to move away from stress and anxiety? How about no more sleepless nights? No more wake up at 3 a.m.? How about no more negative panic attacks or free fall spirals of just feeling doom and gloom of the world around you, or let fear go? I mean, these sound like pretty fantastical promises, right? But what we're really talking about today is leaving the third dimension and beginning to tune into a higher frequency, a higher vibration, a higher energy. And that's what we're going to talk about, how to do that. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on how to use the throat chakra as the secret gateway to entering the 5th dimension. My name is Sonia Choquette. I'm a spiritual teacher and channeler and guide, and I have been for my entire life. And this week I am talking about continuing the conversation, because it's so important, about using the throat chakra and using it, opening it up to get into a different version of you, into the 5th dimension, the expanded, peaceful version of you. If you're new to my channel, first you might want to watch the last transmission, the last video that I did on how to open the throat chakra as the secret gateway to the 5th dimension. And we'll continue now, but we are talking about today more understanding of how and what dimensions are, and how to get into a dimension that really, truly will bring you peace. A real sense that I feel good in my skin. I'm right with the world. So this throat chakra is the chimney of the heart. Your throat chakra is the gateway to where your attention flows. If this is shut down, it's going to squeeze you up into your head, and that is a nightmare place, because your head is where your ego lives. It's where your insecure, temporary, out of control, threatened, needy illusion of you is. So when we open the throat chakra, we open and give ourselves access to our heart energy. This is where our power center is. It gives us also access to the what we call the solar plexus power center. So this is the junction box for what frequency we're gonna live on. If this is open, then we are going to be listening to vibration. We're going to be in our body. You're going to be attuned to who you really are. So there's no need for you to ever look for your self-worth or self-esteem in someone else's opinion or approval of you. Can you imagine that if someone gave you a really, like, for example, I had a client who got a really bad review at work last week. Oh, she was so annoyed. She had worked so hard in this company, but there was a lot of politics and a lot of drama, and she got what she said was a horrible review. Now, first of all, she didn't get a horrible review. What she got was a criticism about being negative at work and maybe not being quite the team player. Okay, that's the literal feedback. But in her throat chakra closed in the head self, she was just trashed by her boss and she felt like, you're not a team player, you have no value, you're dragging us down, you're really hurting us, we can't hardly stand to listen to you. I mean, what she blew up in her head was so 3rd dimension that it literally made her stay home from work for 3 days. She'd sickened herself. And when we spoke, she said it was everybody at work was so negative, but it was not everybody at work. It was her closed chakra pushed her up into her own head, into what I call a bad neighborhood. So all the negative voices in her head made her sick. The little conversation she got from her boss just exploded. Now, if you get negative feedback and you have that kind of reaction, that's a very good indication your 3rd chakra is really shut down. When it's shut down, it ties you into the lowest common denominator of negativity on this planet. That everybody's opinion and all the negative gossip and all the backstabbing, and that's where that goes. That's the third dimension. Now, interestingly enough, that team, there was another woman in there who also got feedback, and it was her friend. And the feedback that she got from her boss was that she talked too much and that she wasn't on time and didn't listen enough. So guess what? She didn't care. She did not care. She said, well, okay, good feedback. I'll consider it, but it didn't devastate her. In fact, she listened. She said, you know what? I am a little bit too chatty, Kathleen, and frankly, I wasn't listening, so good to know. Now, that's a sign that your fifth chakra is open, that what you're hearing is input without judging yourself, feedback about some behavior that maybe would help communications rather than who you are as a person. So my client said to me, we were in two very different meetings. And I said, no, same meeting, two very different experiences of your throat chakra. You have a shut down throat chakra that's scanning for negativity, and you are so quick to throw yourself on top of it and blow yourself up with so much negative feedback, it just sickens you. Where her throat chakra is open and she's connected to her heart and she's not at all under any anxiety about being loved or accepted. She feels like, I know who I am. And yeah, my personality can talk too much, but my spirit and my contributions are really valuable. So that's a very important sign about what channel are you tuning into. The throat is connected to the ears, and it's connected, it's like a little triangle here. It's a little diamond, okay? Like, nyeh, nyeh. This is where we can either turn it up and turn it into the heart, or we can get way turned off and be tuned into other people's stuff. How to open the throat chakra. That was what I wanted to talk about. You know, one of the ways to open it, I want to give you easy ways that you'll actually do, not esoteric, strange ways that you'll think, oh, that sounds so metaphysical, but you really won't do it. 1, sing in the shower or in the bathtub. First of all, the acoustics are really good in that room, so you'll sound good. Sing love songs, sing Broadway tunes, sing uplifting anthems like, We Are the Heroes just for one day. Don't sing the blues, because that'll just amplify and come back and pull you back down to the fourth dimension. The other thing you can do in the shower is talk to your guides. Good morning, waking up, washing off the sleep. I want to talk to you about something, because when you talk from the heart and you open up, universe is listening. I need help today with this, and this, and thank you in advance. It's a big one. Thank you. Thank you. Really thank you in advance. That is the throat chakra just beaming, broadcasting straight from the heart to the throat out. The universe is going to say, okay, got it. Got the message. Now, this is a very important exercise. I mentioned it last week, but I really want to emphasize it again. Practice listening. Maybe I said practice being quiet last week, but I want you to practice listening and pay attention to what it is you're hearing, because we edit what we're hearing. I had another client who said that she was at a family. I had a client, there were 2 clients, and they were married. And I talked to one on Monday and I talked to one on Thursday. And the client on Monday was saying, God, I just came back from a really stressful weekend. I had a family wedding. My brother-in-law got married, and it was so challenging. I didn't fit in with those people. They were all so alcoholic, and she had a lot of negative experience. Okay, so then on Thursday, I talked to her brother. It was his brother who got married, and he said, we had the best time. We laughed. We told stories. I loved who we married. It was so great. And I just, it was a good little vacation for my wife and I. And I thought, man, you two are on a different planet with each other. There's throat chakra. His was just singing love, and hers was just singing negativity. And she didn't see it, but when I talked to her again another time, because I mentor them week by week, I pointed it out. I think you're tuned to a negative channel and you're missing some good stuff. Your husband really loved being there with you. She said, I had no idea. And that's what the throat chakra will tell you. Are you listening to the world and others? Or are you listening to your own inner mantra that's lions and tigers and bears, oh my? If it's open, you're listening. And the other benefit of that? Your own inner conversation and chatter is quiet because you're present and you're listening. And you're also able to listen to your higher self. We are not going to be able to be in the fifth dimension with a closed throat chakra because you are just unplugged and corked. You are cut off from the being of the heart, from the energy of the universe. You're going to, even if you do get the guidance, you'll probably chew it up and spit it out. That's what I observe people doing. I have a client who does beautiful cakes and pastries and wonderful, wonderful event food, and she does get guidance all the time, especially around her clients and what kind of things they'd like for their special events. Beautiful inspirations, beautiful ideas. And you know what she does with them? She doesn't share them. She says, that's too much. They won't go for that. I just have to give them exactly what they want. So her throat chakra is getting all this beautiful inspiration, and then her ego, which is that cuts it out. She goes back to negativity, insecurity. I don't want to take the risk of being rejected. I need people's approval. If I give them an idea, they don't like it. I can't take that. It'll devastate me. It's all very much third dimension misery. So I told her, I don't know if she will or not, but I said, share your ideas. If they don't like it, so what? It's not about you. Oh, I can never take that negative feedback. Sure you can. It's not negative. It's just what works for you, or your inspiration isn't landing. It's not a statement. They already hired you. It's not a statement about whether you have good ideas. So what are you listening to? If you are listening to your own self-criticism and your own denigration of self and others, you'll never get to the fifth dimension because you are plugged in hardcore to the third. But when someone gives you a compliment, you really receive it and say thank you and know they meant it and that maybe you deserved it. That's fifth dimension. Thank you. Wow, that really felt good. I'm going to receive that. Thank you. And then breathe in. Now that's something to practice. If someone, how about this? This is a really good one to the fifth. If someone gives you a piece of criticism, whoa, okay. Hard to hear, but thank you. I actually know that you're giving this to me because you want me to be my best self, and that's your version of my best self. So thank you. I'll think it over. You know where I had to learn this? I learned it well. I write books. I've written so many books. In fact, the book to read is my book, True Balance. That is a book about how to balance the energy in the chakras. But when I first started writing books, and especially my first book, I never had the experience of being edited by a professional editor. Oh my God. Don't say this, you didn't put that, correct the grammar, correct the punctuation, rephrase that, don't know what you mean. Oh my God, my third chakra, my throat chakra just completely shut down. And I thought, oh my God, I'm not worthy. I can't write. I'm terrible. Look at all this criticism. But then a friend of mine pointed out, that's support. You already got the book published. Your book's already going to be published. You already got the approval. This is support in how to do what you do better than you do it. This is a helper. And that really opened my throat chakra after weeks of just pure throat chakra trauma. Throat chakra trauma, I could not get past. I'm so embarrassed. Which even leads me to another story. When I wrote my very, very first book, my throat chakra was really open and closed, open and closed. It opened when I was writing, but then it closed. And I remember giving this book to one of my clients who was a professional editor. ask her opinion. And when she read my book, first she didn't call me for weeks, so that was pure torture. But when she did, she asked me if English was my first language. That just trashed me. Oh my God, I threw that book in the garbage and I just said, I'm never going to write again. Actually, I'd have to give credit to my husband at the time, who is now my friend. He pulled it out and he said, you can't throw this away. And I said, English is not my first language. I'm so embarrassed. He said, look, she's very critical. Maybe she didn't get it, but this is good. Just don't throw it away. And that eventually became the precursor to my very first published book, Psychic Pathway. It's all throat chakra. I opened it up again. And within a very short period of time, one of my students asked me if I would teach her how to be intuitive. And I just wrote the whole thing and faxed it to her, which is complete throat chakra, completely da-da-da-da-da. I just wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote. And she helped me compile what I wrote to her, and that turned out to be my first book, The Psychic Pathway, which is a very good book. You know, the interesting thing about when you start to open the throat chakra is it's the gateway to channeling. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. The gateway to channeling, it's all throat chakra. But you're not going to be channeling anything but your own garbage if you don't realize, look, I have to be discerning. What am I talking about? What am I listening to? Am I listening to head noise and garbage and news and opinion? Or am I listening to the vibration of my heart and the heart we share and the breath we share? Am I listening to my higher self? Am I listening to what's good? Am I interested in listening to what's good? And can I receive when it's given to me? Can I receive loving energy back? Because you open this up, you then open to the next threshold. And that's when you start having conversations. When you open this throat chakra up really well, you start having conversations with your guides, your higher self, your angels, your animals. That's what we're going to next week. But in the meantime, we got to understand it's all here. It is a radio. Are you going to go in AM talk radio, noise and negativity? Are you going to go in FM, loud and a bit gossipy and intermittent? Or are you going to go to beautiful, beautiful divine satellite where you get inspiration and you get direction? And if you do get feedback, your response, thank you. I will consider that. But most of all, if you give me that, maybe I'm going to assume you love me and care. And I am going to tune into love. That's the key. So that's my message for this week. We're on a roll. So on the way out the door, you can sing la, 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 la. The more you sing in the shower, the more you sing in the bath, the more you sing how much you love life, the more you instantly level up. And the next thing you know, your guides and angels and teachers your channels and light beings are going to be singing to you. Works that way. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you really liked it, please join us. And for all of those who keep coming back, I love you guys. I love our community. I love us. And please, in the comments, share your comments, share your feedback. That's your throat chakra. Share your experience and how it can change when you open up and you dial up. The comments are just as important as what I say. So open your throat chakra and contribute, and I'll see you next week. Oh, my love.